Did Jimin really cry after Jungkook's unexpected words during his birthday live? What did Jungkook say that broke Jimin's composure and left the entire fandom in tears? Watch until the end because what happened next will make your heart race. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more BTS updates that will leave you breathless. Did Jimin really cry because of Jungkook? That's the question that's been haunting armies ever since that emotional live broadcast took over every social media feed. It wasn't just a casual happy birthday wish. It wasn't just another cute moment between two members of BTS. What happened that night between Jimin and Jungkook was something deeper. Raw, genuine, and heartbreakingly beautiful. The kind of moment that makes you pause the video, hold your breath, and whisper, "Did he really just say that?" It all began with a simple live stream, Jimin's annual birthday live. The atmosphere was cheerful, filled with laughter, cake, and thousands of comments flooding in from fans across the world. The energy was pure love. Then suddenly Jungkook appeared. The camera shook a little as Jimin's expression turned into that familiar mix of surprise and joy. The way his eyes sparkled when he saw Jungkook walk in, holding a small box and smiling shyly, was enough to send the fandom into a frenzy, but none of us could have predicted what was coming next. Jungkook sat down beside Jimin, close enough that the air around them seemed to hum with unspoken emotion. For a moment it was silent, almost too quiet. Then Jungkook looked straight at Jimin, his voice soft but steady, and said something no one expected to hear. "You always make everyone happy, Jimin Hyung," he began, his tone trembling just enough to show how real it was. "But sometimes I feel like you forget to let yourself be happy too. You've carried so much for us and I just want you to know, you don't have to do that alone anymore." The chat exploded instantly. Hearts, emojis, cries of Jungkook, "What are you doing to us?" flooded the screen. Jimin blinked once, twice, and tried to laugh it off, but his voice cracked. You could see his hands tremble slightly as he wiped at his eyes, his smile breaking into something softer, something more fragile. "You really shouldn't say things like that," he whispered, his voice shaking as the tears finally fell. "You'll make me cry in front of everyone." And he did. Jimin cried, not from sadness but from being seen, from being appreciated in a way that pierced through every wall he built around himself as an artist, as a friend, as someone who always put others first. Jungkook just smiled, quietly watching him, his hand resting lightly on Jimin's shoulder. "Then cry," Jungkook said, his words calm but full of affection. "It's your birthday. You can cry if you want to." The entire fandom was silent for a moment, stunned by how real it felt. This wasn't scripted. This wasn't fan service. This was Jungkook and Jimin, two people who have shared a lifetime of memories, standing in front of millions, bearing emotions too raw to fake. The comments were filled with fans saying they were crying too, that they'd never seen Jimin this vulnerable, that Jungkook's words hit them straight in the heart. What made it even more emotional was how Jimin tried to gather himself afterward. He laughed through the tears, calling Jungkook annoying in that soft, affectionate way he always does. But his eyes never stopped glistening. "You always say the right things at the wrong time," Jimin said, his voice trembling with both laughter and emotion. "I was supposed to be strong today, but you always know how to make me weak." Jungkook chuckled, shaking his head. "No, Hyung," he replied softly. "You've always been strong. You just don't have to pretend to be." And that single line is what broke everyone watching. Because for years fans have known Jimin as the emotional core of BTS, the one who carries others' pain with a smile, who hides his own struggles behind kindness and care. And to hear Jungkook, the youngest, acknowledge that with such honesty was like watching years of unspoken gratitude finally find their voice. After a few minutes, Jimin finally managed to compose himself, his laughter returning as Jungkook teased him about crying on live. But even through the laughter, the bond between them was undeniable. It wasn't just brotherhood. It was something sacred, trust, love, and understanding that goes beyond words. Later that night, clips of the moment spread like wildfire. Jungkook made Jimin cry trended worldwide within minutes. Fans dissected every glance, every word, every little smile. Some swore they saw Jungkook's eyes glisten too, as if he'd been holding back his own tears. Others noticed the way Jimin looked at him afterward. Not angry, not embarrassed, but deeply moved. And here's where the story takes a turn that no one saw coming. A few hours after the live ended, Jungkook posted something on Weverse. Just a short message that read, "Sometimes the best gifts are words we never said before." No names, no tags, but everyone knew. It was for Jimin. It had to be. Fans began flooding the comments, thanking Jungkook for saying what everyone wanted Jimin to hear, that he's loved, appreciated, and never alone. And perhaps that's why Jimin cried. Because in that simple, spontaneous moment, Jungkook gave him something no amount of gifts or parties could ever replace. Genuine emotional truth. But that wasn't the end. The next day, during a behind-the-scenes clip released by the staff, Jimin was seen talking quietly with one of the producers, his eyes still puffy from the night before. "He always knows what to say," Jimin said softly. "Even when I don't want anyone to notice how I'm feeling, Jungkook somehow does. He always does." It's no wonder fans call them soulmates. Not necessarily in a romantic sense, but in the rare, precious way two people can understand each other completely. Over the years, their friendship has survived everything: distance, schedules, fame, and personal struggles. And yet, in moments like this, it feels as though nothing has changed since the days when they were just two trainees sharing laughter in a small dorm room. Maybe that's what makes BTS so different. Behind the perfection, behind the fame, there are still real emotions, real connections, and moments like this that remind everyone why they fell in love with them in the first place. Because when Jungkook said those words, he wasn't just talking to Jimin. He was speaking to every fan who's ever felt like they had to stay strong for everyone else. As the clip continued to circulate online, fan reactions grew more emotional. Some wrote essays about the bond between the two. Others created fan edits, pairing the moment with soft music, capturing every tear, every glance. The fandom became a river of shared emotion, as if everyone had cried alongside Jimin that night. And maybe that's what BTS's power truly is: the ability to turn one simple, heartfelt exchange into something that resonates around the world. Because when Jimin wiped his tears and smiled when Jungkook quietly said, "You're allowed to cry," it wasn't just a private moment anymore. It became a universal message of love, empathy, and vulnerability. So what exactly did Jungkook say that made Jimin cry? Maybe it wasn't just his words. Maybe it was the honesty behind them, the way he said it, the timing, the years of friendship, laughter, and struggle behind those simple sentences. The understanding that sometimes the strongest people need to hear that it's okay to let go. By the end of the live, Jimin laughed again, thanked everyone, and promised to keep doing his best. But fans knew that night would be remembered forever, not as just another birthday celebration, but as one of the most emotionally honest moments in BTS history. And now, as millions continue to rewatch the clip, one question still echoes in the hearts of armies everywhere. If one heartfelt sentence from Jungkook can make Jimin cry, what does that say about the depth of their bond? Watch until the end of that clip, and you'll feel it too, that invisible thread between them. The kind that doesn't need words, because sometimes one look, one tear, and one quiet "you're not alone" says it all. So what do you think? Was this Jungkook's most emotional moment ever with Jimin? Drop your thoughts below. Hit the like button if this moment made your heart ache, and subscribe for more stories that show the beautiful human side of BTS. The side that reminds us that even global superstars can cry, love, and comfort each other like family. Because that night, when Jungkook spoke and Jimin cried, BTS reminded the world that sometimes the simplest words carry the deepest truths. And the story didn't end there. In fact, it only grew more powerful with time. The following morning, fans woke up to a flood of new videos, edits, and translations capturing every second of that emotional birthday live. Jimin's tearful smile, Jungkook's trembling voice, the quiet silence that fell between them.